BJ Emerson from Tasty Delight from Nashville, Tennessee, you're doing Planet Smoothie now too. You guys bought another brand, so you're doing social media for two different brands. BJ, we like to think of as the guy who taught Jack Monson everything he knows about social media back in the day. And if there's anybody in franchising you really need to get to know, BJ's the guy for local marketing. What they've done at Tasty Delight is really groundbreaking with social media, and this is a great presentation. So with that, I want to turn it over to BJ to talk about local marketing rules.
Thanks. So I have a question for Deb, though, before we start. Deb, why do you have a technology guy talking about local marketing?
Why I have a technology guy about local marketing? That technology guys are on TV, magazines out there. There's everything there is to know about local marketing.
I appreciate your confidence. I was challenged a little bit, actually, by this topic, so I appreciate that. Usually I'll talk about loyalty or some of the stuff that we've built. Just to give you a little background for those of you that don't know and kind of our story, we started probably a little over 4 years ago investing in these social channels, and we have these just fanatical customers interacting around our product. So we have Tasty Delight. I got a picture of it there. We have a Tasty Delight, which is a frozen dessert, the delicious, healthier soft serve, if you will, flavored. We have over 100 flavors. And so lots of activity happening around the product online. So we wanted to be part of that conversation. And our whole thing, our theme for the last 4.5 years has been we want to reward them for their digital activity. And now we have Planet Smoothie, which is, we have some more fanatical customers that now are interacting with another 100 locations there. Tasty Delight, about 50 locations. So we're a franchisor. We have 2 brands that we're now managing, and I think what is we've just thrown more mud on the wall than anybody else, and that again came out of the IT department of all places for us, which has been really interesting, an interesting journey to the point where now we're publishing our own book this September. So I do want to I want to do a book giveaway. So I think what we'll do is, during the period of this session right here, those of you that are tweeting, just use the hashtag, the FranCamp hashtag, and be creative. And I'll pick, one of those tweets that are sent out between now and the end of my session here, and I'll pick one to give you a free book. Deb is actually handing out some cards that you could scan to go to our mobile website for the book. Really, we just finished it, and again, coming out in September, and really we just tell our story and all the different things that we've done over the last 4 years or so with customers. And I guess I got to sign a book, or I'll sign it, I guess.
There's somebody at the social side of your home,
Right, so actually, as I look around the room, Valpak's in the book, Thomas Scott, Deb, where's Jenny? Where'd she go? She's not even in here. I'm taking her out of the book. Jack, Engage 1-to-1. So a lot of people are part of our journey, and so we wanted to do that. So local marketing rules, and really I wanted to change this actually to local content rules, which I'll get into. And this is relatively short presentation, but I'll expand, and we can certainly ask questions. So you've probably heard this term, content is king. I think from my understanding is it came from this 1996 article that Bill Gates wrote about what was happening on the internet at the time, and publishing, that sort of thing. And then he said, as part of that, he said, no company is too small to participate. So we've all become publishers, okay, online. At least that's the opportunity that we have. And our challenge, as I think we've already discussed, is creating that content. That's always going to be our issue. Where are we going to get the content from? And then how do we curate these stories that we're seeing online, or curating the stories that are happening around our brand or about our product or about our service, and capturing those things and then putting them back out? What's the mechanism for telling those stories and then sharing those experiences that our customers are having around our products or services. So it's always going to be the issue that we have. So companies like Brand Journalists, what they're doing in corporate storytelling, I think really is the future of these things. Really like their model and what they're doing. So we have a great relationship with them and really appreciate that relationship. So, but I think in franchising, as it relates to content, I think it needs to be changed to local content is king. Okay, so we're getting more granular with the information that's online. Okay, people are now checking in to different venues. So you have social networks that are based upon people, like Facebook. Then you have social networks that are sort of based around places, which, like Foursquare, you add the location ingredient into these social networks, and that's a very powerful ingredient. And then you have things. So people are checking in on Get Glue, food spotting, so you're interacting around objects now. And these objects or even events or TV shows, they're the basis or the core objects on that social network. So we're getting more granular with the content, and there's just so much information out there, and we're able to dial in. So franchising local content is king. And really, outside of franchising, local content is king. So we'll just talk about the franchise opportunity for a minute as it relates to social. We believe that the franchising model fits really well with social media. And we think that there are some advantages in a franchise model for social media. But that is really dependent upon the position that the franchisor brings to the table. And I think there's a spectrum. On one end, you have some real heavy-handed kind of controlling franchisors that want to control everything, and it really expands beyond, social media and the web. That's just how they are. They're very protective about the brand, and that's fine. And they want to control everything, and the franchisee has no control or no input, and that's their culture. Okay, that's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is a franchise system where the franchisor is providing the leadership, but empowering the local franchisees to use these social tools that are available to them and allowing them to engage directly their customers online where those customers are. And so I think we're a little closer to that end of the spectrum, and so we co-manage pages with our franchisees. We give them the tools, hopefully provide the credibility and the leadership to, again, empower them to engage with their local customers. So one of the challenges that we have is that in franchising, it's always been, standardization. You go into a franchise, you go into McDonald's, you're going to get the same experience, the same product that you do all across the country and across the world. But here with social, people are looking for unique experiences, okay? So that's one of the challenges that we have in franchising is that they're looking for unique experiences, but we have these standardized systems and products and services. So it's the death of standardization and the rise of personalization that we're really dealing with, at the franchise level. So how do we capture the local flavor while leveraging the global brand image, right? Is there such thing as a unique franchise location? That's our challenge is we want to provide a great experience, a great local experience, but then leverage the brand name. So again, another opportunity or challenge that we have. And when it comes to managing these now virtual pieces of real estate on the web, the venues, the place pages, the Facebook pages, those kind of things, how do we do that? How do we manage that? How do we scale that when you have thousands of locations? We were just looking at a Subway location on Google Places here a minute ago. The venue wasn't claimed on Google Places. Really not surprising at this point. I think in a couple years, there's obviously going to be benefits to that claiming those venues, like Google, place pages, Foursquare venues, those kind of things. So how do we centralize that but co-manage that? And I'm going to go through some of the things that we do to do that. And really, it's a matter of getting out in front of your franchisees and being a leader so that they're not doing it and then you're trying to catch up to them. Now, I want to refer to a study that I found that if someone wants to tweet this, it is case sensitive, this bit.ly, capital K, 9E, 9, capital A, E. Someone wants to tweet that. It's a white paper distributed by Hearsay Social that I found. And basically it talks about the power of going local, the impact of corporate versus local Facebook pages. Okay, so again, in a franchise environment, I've talked to some franchisors that say, well, we're just going to have one Facebook page. We're not going to let franchisees have their own Facebook pages for their locations. We're just going to manage one in one central place. How they get local content pushed out, I don't know. But again, that's one end of the spectrum. I've even heard agencies that say, well, we don't think that franchisees should have local Facebook pages, okay? And then that's their position, and they're supporting, I guess, those franchisors that's the culture that they're establishing for their franchise system. So I found this, and I just found it really interesting. I'm going to just go through like 3 of the main things that they said in this report, and I'd really encourage you to download it and share it with those in your organization. So it just says locally created Facebook pages deliver 5 times more reach than the corporate pages. Okay, that's one of the stats in this report. Another one is that local posts provide 8 times more fan engagement than the corporate posts. And then the third one is one local fan is worth 40 corporate fans. Okay? So if you look at the profile of Tasty Delight or Planet Smoothie, well, Planet Smoothie, that doesn't really count, but if you look at the profile of Tasty Delight, as I said earlier, we have more Twitter followers than we do Facebook fans, and we don't have tens of thousands of Facebook fans on the main page. I think we have about 7,000, which is not a lot. But I can tell you that the quality of those are pretty good. It's an organic result. We've never paid for any fans, and just over the years, I think we've had a pretty good relationship with those fans. But I'd rather see a franchisee's local page with more. I'd rather see the fans go there. So what we're doing is we're pushing. So we have a Facebook app, and it has all the locations. But each location, if they have a Facebook page, we have a link right there, and then they can jump over to that Facebook page for that franchisee. So we do that for both Planet Smoothie and Tasty Delight. So we want to push those relationships to the local level, okay? Because we get this. We got this, 3-4 years ago, understood the value of this, and now being validated by, whoever it was that did this report. And so again, I'd encourage you, if someone could tweet that, it's a really good report. So the guy at the end, I guess this Mainstay Solar is the market research firm that did this, and he says what the results suggest is that a corporate-based Facebook presence is fine, but that's only the tip of the iceberg. A broader strategy that integrates your corporate Facebook presence with a network of local pages has the potential to drive dramatically greater business results. So we have some franchisees that are doing it very well, and we're trying to provide them the tools. We do webinars. We provide a content library that we're giving them ideas and things to post, things like that. Some of them do use an agency, and so we work with those agencies, try to work with them very closely to make sure that we're all on the same page and communicate, that sort of thing. But this is our model. This is the way that we want to do it, and these are this is where we're seeing the results. We want to push those relationships down to the local level so that they're getting that local content from the local franchisee who knows their neighborhood, who knows what's happening in the local community, and they can push out that kind of content. So I'll just go through a couple of examples here. These are some some tweets from a Franklin, Tennessee franchisee. And this is stuff that we would have never known sitting behind a desk at the corporate office. This is not the kind of thing that a typical agency, perhaps across the country, would have been able to find online or otherwise would have known to be able to push out to that local, that follower base for this particular location. And he doesn't have a ton of followers, but the ones that do follow him, they appreciate this type of content. Killer garage sale at Fieldstone Farms. That's the area that the store is in. Community-wide garage sale. He doesn't say anything about Tasty Delight. He's filling his feed with valuable information. As Jack said, you only talk about yourself 10% of the time. Isn't that what you said? Something like that. And so we're just pushing out some valuable content, local content, into that feed, and that's where that relationship is at. Williamson County has closed all soccer fields this evening. No practice, let's celebrate with a cup of Tasty. Great stuff. And then they're retweeting local things, like Visit Franklin, which is some kind of local organization, a theater, and they're retweeting stuff, and they're not mentioning anything about Tasty Delight. So again, all good stuff. So like Tasty Tustin, that's in California, Nashville, which is a corporate location. So we have some really good examples of franchisees that are, this is really starting to, after these years of trying to push this down into our organization, we're really starting to see some good results. I'm really encouraged by, and this is how you scale. People ask me, well, how do you scale all this stuff? Well, again, franchising allows you to scale it if you do it right. And we think there's a great advantage to doing it this way. This is how you're going to have the best organic results. And from a search engine standpoint, this is the kind of things that are going to make an impact. So video, just a couple of little examples here. We're on the right, on the Franklin location here. We actually embedded a YouTube video within the web page for that specific location, and they did their opening, and so we just created a little video. It's like totally, the girl was using a waffle cone for a microphone, right? Just really kind of corny, but it's authentic. If you watch it, it's really human. Do we have internet on this thing? So if I click on here, will it do anything? Sorry, let's see what it does. No, I broke it. Sorry, I'm not a Mac guy, sorry. Oh, is it? Is it right there, right? Oh, there's no sound? Okay, that's okay. That's okay.
Is this sound right here, babe?
Sorry, I forgot there was a video in here, but it is a good video. Just give you an example of the type of content that we want to create.
Hi guys, welcome to Tasty Delight in Franklin, Tennessee. We're at Fieldstone Farms. I am with the awesome, incredible, adorable Kent Patterson, our franchise owner of this new location. We just opened today, super excited. We're going to take a little bit of time and talk to Kent about his experience with Tasty and what's going on in the store. Hello, Kent.
Hello, welcome to Tasty Delight.
Point there. Thanks, we can go back. So again, creating that local content and getting it out in the right channel to the right people, and that again is making a difference. And I think Google looks at that and says, yeah, this is relevant content for this specific location, and so therefore we're gonna rank this accordingly. One at the top there, we did an event in Times Square, and we have a location in Times Square, so did a cool thing there. The one below is from Madison Avenue. We did a thing with where we hit a treat card and then revealed the location of this hidden gift card and then we put that on YouTube, and then 7 minutes later, a girl come in and grab the card. So just hopefully a couple of good examples there, and then again integrating into our website so that customers can see that. So some of the opportunities that we've kind of pursued here in the past, every city, every big city or decent city has a social media club, and the opportunity there is to either host something if you have a brick and mortar location. You can certainly attend these meetings and meet all of the influential social media people in your particular city. Or they're always looking for sponsors for different events. Or again, hosting something is a great opportunity, and so we've been able to do that in the past. Or connecting with local food bloggers. In our case, if you have so we're obviously, we could reach out to those people that blog about food and invite them in, give them a tour, give them a bunch of free stuff, have a blogger party, again, host that, and guess what? They get online and they talk about Tasty Delight. And we have those local relationships that are yielding results. Okay, so getting into that centralized but shared management, of course, Facebook, you guys have probably all seen this. What we do is we'll create, when we have a new location open, we'll go ahead and create the Facebook page, we'll brand that, we'll add some apps to that. I obviously have to have some admin rights in order to add different apps to the Facebook page for that business page for that location. Just another reason for franchisees to give me access, because they can't get these apps unless I'm an admin on the page. Then I can obviously add them as administrators, and we co-administer these pages. Works very well, and so we can push down national content. So like from Jack's application, what we've done in the past, we push out a national kind of campaign to 35 pages at once. You can do that through Engage One-to-One. So that's kind of how we're managing Facebook there. So again, if you had a franchisee that created a page and then he sold his franchise, then you got to deal with that, right? And who wants to do that? That's no fun. So this has worked fairly well, and the benefit to them is that we can push down national kind of campaigns or add apps to their page. So again, providing the leadership and getting out in front of them. Now, when we inherited or acquired the Planet Smoothie chain, basically, we're now dealing with 100 locations, and where we were able to start from the beginning with Tasty Delight and get all that stuff centralized, Planet Smoothie is a whole different deal. We didn't have access to very many of those pages, so we're just having to work with those franchisees and now earning their trust so that they'll add us on, and we'll show them the benefit of adding us on. And then we tell them, hey, look, we got a bunch of apps we can add to your page. Just add me as administrator. And they're like, yeah, sure, no problem. So it's just a matter of creating that relationship. Franchising is a relationship business. You earn their trust, and then you get access to these things. So that's how we're dealing with the Planet Smoothie acquisition of all those locations. So Foursquare, everyone knows I'm a Foursquare evangelist. We were launch partners with their check-in offers. We integrated our loyalty program with Foursquare. Lots of different things with that. But so here, if you have a brick and mortar location, you've claimed these venues on Foursquare. And I guess now they have a streamlined option, but you have to pay $10 to do that. So they're trying to drive some revenue there and make it easier and faster to claim those venues. But from what I understand, you can still do it the old way. You fill out the form, it takes a couple days, and they verify it. From what I understand, they're still doing that, which is probably how I'll continue to do it. But so in this example, just a bunch of Planet Smoothie locations that I've been able to claim and then turn on the check-in offers. So you have these loyalty specials at these different locations, And again, that was me going to the franchisee and saying, hey, did you know you could turn on Foursquare offers for free? And here's the benefit to you. And we've been doing this for a couple years now with Taste Delight locations. And they say, oh, that's great. I would like to do that. And I say, okay, well, I'm going to claim your venue, but I can share the management of this with you, and I can make you a manager or an employee on that Foursquare venue. And then when you log into Foursquare using your personal account, then you have access to this, and you can create your own check-in offers, whether it's a mayor special, swarm special, that kind of thing. You can do that on your own. So I have agencies actually that I'll share management with, and they will create it for the franchisee. Okay? So, but then once they create something though, I can't go in and delete their special. They have to, but I think I can remove them and just revoke them from the account. So. Not yet. Yeah, so as long as once you have, for all the locations that you have claimed, so I log in under my account and I go to Manager Tools and I see all these locations. I probably have 60 locations that are claimed under one account. And so what you do is and that's the hard part, is getting all those claimed, okay? But once you do that, then you just select the campaign, and you create the campaign, you select the offer, and then select the locations, and you can just say select all. And then, boom, you turn it on. Then it's a matter of working with your franchisees and letting them know that this offer's out there, that it's, that's a whole other story, as you probably know. So, so this is really slick. It's interesting that Foursquare has got this figured out, but Google does not. So in this case, we've claimed all these Google places. Now we were launch partners with Google's national rollout of their Google offers in Latitude, which you probably never heard of. Not many people use it. But so I sent them a list, and you can do this, and you can create a relationship with them. You can send them a list of your locations, and hopefully they'll get them imported. So we actually have the location numbers within there that they put in as well. And so all of the Taste Delight locations and now some Planet Smoothie ones I'm starting to put in. So that's all associated with a certain Gmail account or a Google account. And we have all those claimed, and then we can go in and look at the analytics on that. We could create an offer if we wanted to. And so we were talking earlier about the benefit of instead of, like, let's say you have a locator on your website for your franchise locations, instead of pointing the map to like the map link, like the regular Google's map link that you would, point it to your Google Place page. You're going to get better results by doing that. And Google is going to see that, hey, this is relevant, and that ranks higher. Your place page is going to rank higher, hopefully, than the organic results. So, but again, here they don't have any way at this point, and I know it's just a matter of time, but like I was saying with Foursquare, you're able to add a manager onto this, or like in Facebook's case, you can add an admin. Google doesn't have that yet. It's just a matter of time, I'm sure, before they do. And I'm sure we could, at some point, Google Plus will integrate with this. We were talking about that, and what will that look like? So claim your places in Google Places, and then wait to see what is going to happen with Google Plus. But again, you really want to do it under one account. Okay, so again, local content means local recognition. So here's your opportunity. Again, you have all these stories, you have all this content, and perhaps content that customers are creating, and just take that. I think one of the smartest things that we've done, and so like I'm the IT guy, right? They pulled me out of the server closet. This is the truth. They pulled me out of the server closet to start this social media stuff. And that was, again, 4.5 years ago. And so here I am, the IT guy. So I'm like, I get BI, right? Business intelligence, right? I get CRM. I'm like a web developer. And so I know what SEO is. And that's kind of why they chose me, is because of the SEO angle. And so to me, all this information that's on the web, this is business intelligence, okay? And so now when I see these things out there, these are great stories. And one of the smartest things I think we did was to curate those stories and to take and archive all of these tweets, all of these stories, all of these experiences that we were providing for customers, and we archived all that. So when we're writing this book that we just finished, I have 4 years of stories that I can tell, and I have links to tweets, or I've captured screenshots, I have all these relationships with customers and all these different stories that you'll see in this book. So some of that we can take. How do we put that in the physical location? How do we bridge the gap between the virtual and the physical? How do we put that and display it for others to see and perhaps recognize these customers through some digital displays or really through anything? So we have a couple of options there. One of them is something called screenscape.net. Really cool interface. It's really cheap. It's like $10 a month. So you get this digital display. It's got to be powered by a browser, so you need a PC or something to power the display. And it's all flash-based, but it's a full-screen web browser, and you have this web interface. Sorry if I'm getting too technical here. I'm the IT guy. So you have this web interface that you can put in different video segments and different still images. You can do a slideshow. You can bring in an RSS feed of your favorited tweets. That's like my favorite thing to do, right? So at the bottom of the screen, imagine a big digital display. At the bottom of the screen is a ticker that's running across that has all these awesome tweets about your brand or your product or your service, and they're just automatically going across there because it's an RSS feed of your favorited tweets, and we just favorite tweets, and they show up on the screen. It's already moderated, all these awesome tweets. So screenscape.net, and there it allows you to pull in the mayor information for that location. You just put in like the venue ID or something, shows who the mayor is, okay? And then you can recognize those people as they come in, and here's the mayor's picture right up on this digital display for everyone to see. Oh yeah, hey, I need to check in on Foursquare. Oh, there's a nearby offer, or there's a nearby special here. I can do that. And so, great way to recognize the customers. We have some point of sale poll displays, and that's just like a slideshow of different customer tweets. We call them tasty tweets. Or we can localize that, and I tell the franchisees, look, take pictures of your customers, and then we can put them on this poll display as like a slideshow, and customers love it. They come in, ooh, look at, hey, there's me, and then they provide a quote, just fun stuff like that. So how do we get local with recognizing them like that? And you get real creative. Franchisees come up with much more creative things than I do, so I just steal their ideas, And so here's an example of providing a local and personalized experience. So think about your product or your service, and think about how you could provide a localized experience around that. And so for us, Tasty Delight has over 100 flavors. And I remember when I first started, I would go into a location in New York, and on the wall they would have all these like Post-it notes, and they would say, like Bob and his phone number, and it would say, New York cheesecake, and there was all these little Post-it notes on the wall, and these little things that they would stick up there, and it had people's phone numbers, and it would have a flavor. And I was like, what is this? And he said, well, when those flavors are on tap, they want us to call them or text them and let them know that strawberry cheesecake is on tap. We got that ready in the machine today, and they can come in, and so I said, wow, that's interesting. So we created this thing called Flavor Alerts, and so what they do is by location, you go on the website and you sign up, and you just pick your top 10 favorite flavors, and it's going to send you a text or an email when that flavor is on tap. Or you can just say, look, just send me all the flavors that are on tap on a given day or every day. So hundreds of people that are getting text messages and emails every day just telling them their favorite flavors. Now, we started that over 3 years ago on the website, and so we have this database of people. So think about the data that we have, right? So it's by location, by flavor, by customer. We have all this great data. And then we can make better marketing decisions or better decisions around, hey, here's all these people asking for cake batter. That's obviously something you're going to want to offer more often. So but now what's happening is that franchisees are actually starting to put their flavors of the day on their Facebook pages. And if they don't every day, people will comment. So they don't have people actually commenting. Sometimes they comment on what the flavors of the day are when they publish them. I think they're just mostly reading them, because if they don't put them, then they complain that they didn't put them there. So some of the locations, they've stopped using this. They're using their Facebook pages, but then we're not capturing the data. You can see the value of that. So in this girl, she's in the book. She says, your flavor alerts just might change my life. So I'm going to bring it to a close here. I think Deb handed out some little cards there. We just finished this, just got the pre-order. I will say this, if you look at the 2 purchase options on the website there, and you can go to the tastydelightway.com. Right now, for whatever reason, Barnes & Noble has got an insane deal on this book on the pre-order. They're doing something special with pre-orders. It's half of what Amazon is. So if you're going to buy this, buy it now, because this will be the cheapest you could ever buy it. Okay? So a little bit about my co-author on this. And if any of you went to IFA, Jim is our CEO. So he's the co-author on the book, and he was inducted into the IFA Hall of Fame here in February. So we sat down for many, many hours, wrote this book together, put together all these stories, and really just unfolds our journey from what I call social negligence to really where we are today. And I think we've really come full circle with a lot of these things with our social media kind of approach. And there's been ups and downs, there's been lean times, and then there's been times where we've been able to invest a lot. And I know many of you are going through the same thing, as many franchises are, with budgets, with the economy, in our case, competition, in the case of Tasty Delight, with all the Froyo Wars, which now we're really in the second round of Froyo Wars, is what they call them. So we're in the midst of that, which is a lot of fun. And actually, Tasty Delight actually emerged out of the first Froyo Wars. So I did a lot of research into this, interviewed over 80 people, and again, some of you in the room, really just glad I could incorporate some of you who have been part of that story now for the last 4 years. So some of what we talk about, it's really a different kind of book on social media. It's not the typical kind of book where you're going to see a lot of stats, a lot of analytics, and a lot of those kind of things. Really more an emotional connection that we're making, and really think it's going to resonate because we really get to the heart of the matter in these things. Some of the chapters are like, we talk about outsourcing social media, and we kind of play both sides of that, talk about the benefits and risks of something like that. One of the chapters is called, my favorite is Character in 140 Characters, and it's all about Twitter and what we've done there, interacting with celebrities, and just a lot of different things that we've done over the years. So, social media marketing lessons for building loyalty and a brand customers crave. So that's really it for me. I would love to take questions, and again, I'm going to be picking one of the tweets to get you a signed copy when it comes out in September. Any questions? Go ahead. Sorry, we turned it off.
How's this? What kind of rules or guidelines do you have in place for your local Zs in terms specifically of Twitter handles and the use of the logo? I've run into this with other companies where everybody has the same logo, so it sort of looks weird to have 20 different Tasty Delight logos on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just wondered if you had naming conventions and logo conventions like that.
We certainly try to. And again, if we get out in front of it and we're creating the pages and the Twitter handles, then that's fine. And we work with them, and we, to understand their local, would you call it this or would you call it this, the area that their store is in. We don't get too hung up about that, but we do have some guidelines that we provide to them. We have everything in writing. We have an attorney, and interestingly enough, our attorney, our general counsel, is actually on Foursquare of the corporate office. He's the mayor on Foursquare, our attorney. So if that tells you kind of hopefully culturally where we're at. So he's involved. So yeah, we try to stay in front of that when we're creating them. And if there's enough of them as they look at it, really it should make sense to them. Hey, look, everybody else is Tasty Franklin or whatever. I'm gonna, hopefully they'll go along with that. And if we're involved and we have that relationship and we're staying and we're communicating with them, we're going to be able to get out in front of it. And if they do create something, there's been times where we've had to make changes. So again, with like Planet Smoothie, we inherited that, and that's kind of a mess. So we have to go back and hopefully clean it up over time. But again, as long as they're local and they're creating great content, especially now with the Facebook timeline and your photo at the top, hey, let's keep that local. So it's, the branding is there. It's always going to be there. We can point back to, we have the brand guidelines that we provide them. But really, I think the local connections are hopefully what we're trying to show is really more of a priority. Not much a priority, but it's a value. We just value it. I don't know if that answers your question.
How do you handle if you've created a page for one of your franchisees or they created one on their own and then they just totally neglect it and stop posting? Or do you do it for them, or how do you handle that?
Yeah, I think that happens. And so, yeah, we'll hopefully keep it alive with some national content at a minimum. There'll be some things that we'll push down from the national level. But if for some reason, if they're not using Facebook, then at the location they're too busy, which is a good thing. So, and then if all the franchisees, and we have a lot of franchisees that are on Facebook, and we're all friends, and so they like all the different pages and they're interacting. So there's a lot of value in that, where franchisees are seeing the content that other franchisees, and they're sharing links, they're sharing posts from the other Facebook pages, so you see Tasty Delight shared a link of another Tasty Delight location. Happens all the time. So I think there's just a great value in that, where we're friends with them, they're all liking each other's pages, so they're seeing the other content, and it's really an interesting communications platform just for our franchise network. And again, that we're learning a lot of things for the first time on Facebook posts. Hey, if that's what it takes, we'll do it. So, but yeah, they do get stale over time, and they just reach out to them and say, how can we help you?
When it comes to the look and feel of the Facebook pages for the franchisees, do you guide them? Do you have them all have the same cover image, or do you like to have that be localized? Or if it looks like a hot mess, do you tell them? Or how do you handle that, I guess?
I'd like to say that we're that organized, but we're really not. We have, like, when we do seasonal campaigns, we'll have a Facebook thing that's formatted in the right way, and that's something like we do. I guess last month we had some kids flavors, bubble gum and cotton candy flavors. So we created a thing for that and gave that to them, and so they could use that. So it's a national campaign that they have the option to use that. And so again, that's where, like in the marketing department, when they're creating, the creative for all these different campaigns, I say, hey, look, now you need a Facebook, photo for the timeline for all these pages that we need to make available. So that's just another thing that that they get to create. So you have maybe your email campaign creative, and you have your Facebook campaign creative. So you just get with your marketing department and say, hey, you need to be thinking about all these online real estate that you need to create it for. Give them the specifications, what the sizes are, and then when they do a campaign, it just needs to be part of it. And then it's just a matter of distributing it to the franchisees. Yeah. And again, they'll see, hopefully, if they're liking the corporate page and they're on Facebook, oh look, they got a new thing. Let's go steal it or find, whatever resource center we've provided them to get that. Just a final comment. I mean, so again, I think, really changing the subject a little bit, these kind of events are really encouraging to me because, we all have now, some of us for years, have been investing in each other in this tribe that we have. It's a very powerful thing. So if you're new to this community and franchising in social media, or if you're a supplier or a vendor or you have a service, great to see people like Location 3 coming in here and just giving. They're not selling anything, they're just here to participate and to add value to the community. And those relationships over time, as we need those kind of services, franchisors and franchisees are going to know where to go. So for those that have been investing in this for many years now, this is a very powerful thing that we have here. And we need to be the ones to provide the leadership in franchising within social media that others are going to look to. And so, that's a conscious thing that we need to, I think, be doing. And we have some great folks here that have been part of that. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, BJ. Okay. Thanks, BJ.